Wait, there's something very weak coming through.
Hey guys, this is David Fager, and I was just listening to the finishing part of Solo Review Part 2. The one thing that I wanted to ask, if any of you all think that perhaps Kira was working with Maul all along, and that she wasn't going to be trading herself as one slave to another, but she'd already been a slave to Maul this whole time. Just a thought, and I'd love to hear you guys break it apart. Alright, talk to you later.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, fellow galactic listeners. I'm Barry White. No, I'm Aaron Julian. I'm just sick. And this is WSTR, Galactic Public Access, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 75. Today, we're going to continue our discussion about Solo, a Star Wars story, discussing Easter eggs. Joining me in the discussion today is Miss Heather Allred.
Does that mean the Easter Bunny's coming?
Mm-hmm. If you look
great.
closely.
All right. Hey, everybody.
And Todd Hoffman.
What's up?
You can check us out on social media at WSTR Media, all one word, all lowercase. Email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. Leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. That's 630-557-9787. You can catch our entire back catalog of episodes at www.wstrmedia.com. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. That's right, the audiobook downloading service brought to you by Amazon. You can get your free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/WSTR. Over 180,000 titles just waiting to be selected by you.
That's impossible.
As your one and only favorite, your free audiobook. That's right. For you, the listeners of WSTR podcast, Audible is offering a free FREE audiobook for you with their free 30-day trial to give you an opportunity to check out their service. And guess what? If you're not happy, if you don't want to pay for it, just cancel. No questions asked. And you get to keep the audiobook. Not a single question. You know, I've always I've always wondered about that. Like if you're returning shoes somewhere and it's like a no questions asked, like you mail it back, like can you just stick something vile in that box? Will they just be like, why? We can't ask him. We can't ask him.
can't ask him. Nope.
Yeah. Not that I would recommend this practice, but you know, if you do happen to test the boundaries of such a promise, please call us at 630-557-9787 and let us know. Todd, you've been using Audible lately, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah. So I just picked up, actually today, I started listening to Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. And it's narrated by actually Eckstein, who did the voice for Ahsoka. So
perfect.
Win-win chicken dinner, man. So just my drives there, I'm already like a couple hours in. I was like, all right, let's do this. So
I mean, yeah, Todd, you and me, two birds of a feather with that commute.
Traveling out rim, man. So
yeah. If you're a smuggler on the outer rim like us, you're suffering with us. Well, suffer no longer with Audible.
And then you get a credit each month, and then you can get a book.
There you go.
So there you go, man. Just, I'm telling you.
So
easy peasy.
Yeah, support the show, get a free audiobook, find over 180,000 more. Everybody wins when you go to audibletrial.com/WSTR. And with that, let's go into the news of the week.
And now, the Star Wars News of the Week.
All right. So, Aaron, you're like we dropped the ball last week. We didn't report this. And I was like, well, we can't report it if it wasn't happening.
See, okay. So we recorded on Monday with the idea that
Yeah.
I'd edit on Tuesday and then we go live
Right.
Wednesday.
Yeah. This is podcasting right there, man.
This is
That's
podcasting.
it.
Yep. So, this next news item dropped Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm feeling sheepish launching the podcast on Wednesday. Like, we didn't talk about this. We're out of the loop.
I was like, well,
But
we can't record something that didn't happen yet.
yeah. So
If we did that, then we would not be podcasting.
we'd be in the stock
betting or
market, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
if you're wondering why we are coming to this late, that's why.
Yeah. So we're talking about Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose Tico on the old Last Jedi. And she basically deleted all her stuff on the Instagram. And that is because of harassment from
Stupid
I'm
people.
using air quotes. Yeah, I'm using air quotes like fans. So yeah, it's so disheartening to like hear that and just like we're supposed to be a community and it's a strong fan base, and yet we are like shunning an actor that grew up loving Star Wars, that she ruined Star Wars for us and she should die or whatever they're saying. I don't know, but it's just really sad.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
I mean, didn't
this-
Daisy Ridley do this for a while back when Force Awakens
Yes.
came out?
Yeah, like one of my favorite moments like of Daisy Ridley was like she's watching the trailer for the first time and she's like in her bed and she's like crying. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But then she made some comments about some gun control or something, and everybody, you know, had to pick a side. And then she got off the old Instagram. She's not on Instagram either. And then Hayden Christian, he's not even on because he knows we hate the prequel. So
He perhaps made the wise move,
yeah, he's like, yeah.
but he shouldn't have
did
to
make
do.
an appearance. Yeah, but again, dude, it's not his fault, man. You know, I don't know. George can't write, so you know, I don't know. It's like this is what we kind of talked about this the other time too. It's just like it's kind of a reoccurring theme. It's like, yes, there's things that are black and white, but like something like this where as a like an art, like some people are going to like things and some other people are not going to like it. So it's just like music. There's so many different musics out there, so many different genres. You're like, I don't like this. Well, okay, then there's something else for you. But like, I feel like lately with Star Wars, it's like either you like it or you don't. And if you don't like The Last Jedi or you love The Last Jedi, then you're not a true Star Wars fan. And the fact that like fans are like harassing and saying lots of mean things to an actor just seems totally ridiculous. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, you could disagree about whether you liked a certain Star Wars movie or an aspect of Star Wars all you want, or a character or anything like that. But when it goes too far is when you leave the Star Wars world and you're into the real world, where there are actual people who are, you know, just trying to apply their craft and pursue their dreams, or just, you know, just get by. And that's when you're no longer a real Star Wars fan. It's like when you feel like you have to, you know, harass someone involved in the production that you don't agree with, because it's like, I can guarantee you none of these people who harassed Kelly have ever created a public facing thing in their life. And you know, they're probably taking their frustrations with The Last Jedi, and I don't know if she's an easy target or what, but she seems to be getting the brunt force of that kind of frustration. And it's like, if you're that frustrated that or disappointed in something and it didn't turn out to be what you hoped it would be, there's a good remedy for that, and it's go out and make something better. So hugely saddening and disappointing that this is what a lot of people think of the Star Wars fan base now. So I think I'm speaking for all of us here at WSTR when we say like that kind of behavior is totally unacceptable and not indicative of the Star Wars fan base at all.
Yeah, it's just like even like with like a Star Wars podcaster or something like that. That's a specific genre. It's like, yes, I want you to listen to us, but it doesn't matter if you're listening to other people. It's like it's all one community. You know, it's like, oh no, we're exclusive. You know, it's like, no, I mean, you want to hear other people's thoughts and opinions, and that's good. And like you said, Aaron, to have a healthy debate is fantastic. I mean, you know, it's like playground stuff. Like, you know, no, this guy, you know, Darth Vader's better than Boba Fett. You're like, Boba Fett's better than Darth Vader. And then you can have this healthy argument, and then you go have ice cream or something.
Yeah,
you know?
shake hands and have a taco.
Shake hands. Yeah, like, let's go have tacos. It's like, but with this, it's like, you know, it doesn't have to get to a personal level where you're saying all these hateful things when this person's sharing their life on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and you're like shunning her. It just makes it's a waste. It's a waste of negative energy, you know?
Yeah, and just like the human psyche's like not built to be able to withstand that kind of onslaught, you know, of just like thousands upon thousands of anonymous people just, you know, saying the cruelest things to you. It's like nobody can bear that load.
Yeah. Right. If we continue to like say you're garbage, you're garbage, you're garbage, you're going to believe you're garbage. You know, if you uplift people and give people, you know, common courtesy, it's like, you know, it's okay. You know,
for sure.
Really okay.
So I'm
I'm
gonna respond to this as diplomatically as I possibly can.
Oh boy.
I am completely disgusted by these people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
I am a fan of Star Wars. I have made it.
What?
Oh yeah.
No way.
Just as an FYI, in
Secret's
case that wasn't
out.
clear before. You know, I think if we're going to spend this much energy on something that is fictional about men that have magical force powers, that have these light sticks that hurt other people, and different alien species, and blue milk and green milk and whatever all the different little facets of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to get this passionate about something that's not even real, how about instead you turn that energy into something and show some compassion in the world where clearly we are struggling with being compassionate to one another in a real person to real person situation.
Right.
Whether it's country, whether it's within our country, you know, you think of school shootings and just general hate for other people. I'm like, we don't need to put that into something that is a beloved entertainment avenue. She was a fan. She's absolutely adorable as Kelly Marie, you know, on her own from the social medias I've seen of her. Listen, I love Sandra Bullock. She's made some flop movies. That doesn't mean I'm going to be all up in her business about it. Like,
your movie didn't make 300 million.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Amen. I'll go to bat for the lake house any day.
There you go. I don't know. It just really makes me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, I've been very vocal about my dislike for the character Rose, but you know, that's not her fault at all. She played her role really well.
Right.
And I just don't think it was written very well, but you know, how is she going to change that? It's not her fault at all.
Not her fault. Yeah, she worked with the material that Ryan gave her. I mean, Ryan came out and said she's kind of like a nerd, and that's fine. But you know, our disagreements are maybe more of like the character growth and the development of it, but not Kelly Marie Tran. You know,
right?
So
yeah, like
it's just tough. It's just I don't get it. You know, and I'm sure honestly, if she's getting this, we know Ryan is like getting like 3 times this amount. You know, maybe he's just, you know, blowing it off, whatever. But yeah, I really want, you know, we don't do this much, but I really want to read a scripture verse here on it's at James 3, and it's about taming the tongue.
Please do.
And James 3:5 says, likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. Consider what a great forest it sets on fire by a small spark. The tongue is also as a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body, sets the whole course and one's life on fire, and itself sets on fire by hell. So it's just basically saying like, hey, it's a small piece of your body, but like you can also
do a lot of damage.
You can make great boasts. Yeah, you can do a lot of damage. And we know this like in this today's world, like shoot, like Roseanne gets on Twitter,
oh boy,
says some things and her show's canceled. Mm-hmm. And that's electronically. So it's the same thing. It could literally say like your thumbs are a small part of your body, but they can make great boasts because you're typing, you know, you're texting these things.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If you say it electronically or verbally, it's out there and you can't take that back. And it's just like, you know, take that creative energy and praise somebody or build somebody up. Don't tear people down. It's just, it ain't cool, man. Ain't cool. Well, we could talk about it for hours, but anyways,
moving swiftly on.
Yeah, no, just be cool with, man. You know, be cool with people.
Yeah,
it's like I, you know, like I'm all for making Star Wars better, and I feel like we definitely have to. Like, I feel like as a Star Wars fan, you want that, but personally attacking people is not cool. So
it's not going to accomplish what you think it will.
Right, exactly. Kathy Kennedy might be leaving. This also broke like right when, yeah. So you know, again, these are rumors. There's no validity, but you know, once starts things swirling, you know, there could be some truth to it. But I don't know if this is because of Solo or just all the pressure. I don't know. I don't know if there's, you know, this is just like, I saw this kind of pop up in a couple of news threads. I'm like, well,
we grabbed it from the HoloNet.
We grabbed it. Just there's nothing official, obviously, from Lucasfilm, but it's just interesting. Like this dropped. I think that dropped like that Kelly Marie Tran thing dropped Tuesday, and then this Kathleen Kennedy thing like dropped Wednesday. I'm just like, okay, what's going on? So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's really. I mean, she's done a good job. Obviously, Solo is not earning what it should be earning, but also she had to make a pretty tough choice, and you know, and still made a movie out of it. You know, so
yeah, I guess we'll have to see how this develops.
Yeah, exactly. And then this was a busy week, and then. Also, last Wednesday, Star Wars Celebration Chicago tickets went on sale at 12 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, it's selling like hotcakes. It's going more than Bantha Blue Milk, man, on a hot Tatooine day. It is like VIP gone. So people are blowing
in like $7 minutes, people.
Yeah. 12 by 12:10 it was gone.
I can't handle that.
Yeah. And then 5-day gone. No more 5-day.
No more 5-day passes.
And then actually was it this? It was like Saturday, right? Saturday tickets are gone.
So
like gone.
Yeah, this is up to date as of Monday evening. So very well all could be gone by the time this podcast comes out. But if it's still available,
later, everything's gone,
and you'd like to hang out with us, get in on that. Because
get in on that.
We guess who's going to be there?
I'm gonna be there.
We are.
WSTR podcast.
Right. We hit the panic button. Like, we gotta get tickets or we're not gonna be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
super
super
excited.
Are we going to be there?
Heather and I went all in. We dipped the toe. We just dove right in.
Okay.
Oh
It'll
my
be
gosh.
5 days.
All right.
5 days.
I'll at least be there, I think, Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday, something like that.
You're gonna be there Friday and Sunday, man.
Friday and Sunday, that's the one.
As of right now, but
So
yeah. So maybe those 5 days can go on the old black market and get like really ridiculous.
Scalp them for
be more than the VIPs.
$800 each.
We're not even a week out and they're already sold out. That's insane.
Can't stop the rock.
Can't stop it. They're not going to go see the movie, but they're going to go to Celebration.
Seriously?
So there you go.
Okay.
Oh man, that's Star Wars fans for you. All right, so why don't we move on to our main topic?
And now for our feature presentation.
Okay, so we're doing Easter eggs, and a lot of these are more or less like in-universe references. As Aaron would call them, a tip of the hat.
Yep,
little tip of the hat.
Little tip of the
wink.
hat. Nudge, nudge,
Little
wink.
nod.
Yep.
Yeah, a little wink to the audience. You see that, and a lot of people, it was Solo was like, wow, this felt very Marvel-esque because there is a lot of references and a lot of in-universe stuff that there's some deep cuts. So a lot of these are not traditional Easter eggs, but we're just going to throw them all in there and, we'll call it the true Easter eggs they're out there. But a lot of these are just like a little tip of the hat. Yep. So I thought the easiest way to go through this is try to as chronologically as possible, but it's not perfect, but they're out there. So we're going to start in Corellia. The first thing that is an in-universe nod is Han's dice. So we saw this first in The Last Jedi, kinda, the gold ones, but they go all the way back to A New Hope in 77. You got to keep up. But when Chewie enters the cockpit, there is some dice, and that's a nod to Hot Rods because they used to have the fuzzy dice when George Lucas was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And JJ screwed the pooch on this one because he had a scene when Han enters the Falcon, he puts the dice back in their spots. But they cut it. It would have been nice if they kept it because then it would have been a nice little transition. But it is a deleted scene. You could see that in the Force Awakens deleted scenes. But yeah, so you got the dice there. Next up, when Han comes back to the White Worms with Lady Proxima, somebody's talking about portions. So we hear that word or phrase from our good old scavenger Ray on Jakku.
One quarter portion.
The portion.
Voiced by our dear friend Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. He sweats for Star Wars.
Yep.
I love it. Lady Proxima is voiced by a legendary character actor called Linda Hunt. Hunt played Stella, the Madam, in Silverado, which is also a Western film written and directed by Lawrence Kasdan.
It's all connected, man.
Oh man.
It's all connected. Obviously, the little in joke with the Rock with the thermal detonator is, you could say that's kind of a nod to Return of the Jedi, and obviously we've seen that before with our Princess Leia dressed up as a bounty hunter.
Little tip of the hat.
Little tip of the hat. Like, I see you, Star Wars guy, fan, angry fanboy out there.
Yep.
There you go. Han mentions AV-21s. Since he was like 10 years old, and AV-21s was a 2-person speeder at the on the Star Wars Galaxy. MMORPG. Say that 5 times fast. Morg. So if you play Star Wars Galaxy, you're like, dude, I know some AV-21s. And you had to, it was a rare in-game purchase, and you had to attain parts from a Corellian Corvette mission and cost up to 2 million credits. That's a lot of credits.
That's
a lot of cheddar.
That's a lot of cheddar. Of course, I caught this right away. This is another little nod, I see you right there, brother. When they're in the train trying to get through customs, basically, the stormtroopers are going, move along. So there.
I noticed that one.
Yes, good.
Are we playing Easter egg bingo now?
We should.
That would be. I noticed that one. Yes.
B-43.
right, exactly. Han show, like stormtroopers saying, "Move along." Yes, B-43. There you go.
There you go.
Let's see. Next up, there's Han was sent to Imperial Academy on Carida. If I'm saying that right. And Carida. That was mentioned in the Tarkin novel. So there you go.
I remember that.
This is some meta stuff, and we talked about this before. This one was you can't pass this up, but as Han is going to enter in the recruitment where the posters are, you can hear the Imperial March. And we also hear this. This is also, they did this in Rebels. In Rebels, they had Empire Day, which is the celebration of the Empire, and they did that in the Parade of Lothal. They had a kind of upbeat Imperial March. So that's the second time. Yep. So there you go.
For our music loving listeners out there, it's performed in a major key instead of a minor key. So it sounds happy and triumphant, and it's really weird, but I love it.
That seems weirdly familiar.
Yes. Somehow wrong.
Yes. When backing up just a smidge, this is when Han and Kira are being chased, and they kind of go through 2 giant structures, and it kind of goes sideways,
Yes.
Yep.
This is a nod also in Indiana Jones. He does that. And he also does this. He also does this in the asteroid part in Kessel. So it's kind of a 2-parter. He does this kind of sideways thing, and this happens in Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. And the line goes, "Are you crazy? Don't go between them. Go between them. Are you crazy?" So yeah, it's kind of a nod,
almost like Marx Brothers slapstick.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So those are the ones I saw in Corellia. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else? At least Heather got one.
I got one.
Well, and Aaron, you got the Imperial March. So there you go.
Are we keeping tally
now?
I
don't. This is
no. We
can't. I don't know. It's fine. We're making it up as we go. All right, Minbin. So Minbin again is the mud planet. This planet was in Splinters of the Mind's Eye. This was like the first EU novel, and it was basically going to be a sequel. And it was first mentioned in that, and it was a mud planet, Minbin. So there you go. The other thing, and I know we kind of talked about this, is when we have the big reveal of Chewie in the pits. It's very reminiscent of Luke and the Rancor pit and Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
So, I was super stoked for this, and I didn't see them. I don't know if you guys saw them, but Tags and Binks are 2 Dark Horse characters they're just bumbling idiots. And I didn't see them, but the 2 stormtroopers, Ron Howard tweeted a picture of them, but I don't know if they're in. I don't know. The 2 stormtroopers were pretty funny when they were talking about Chewie and Han, and I thought that that might have been them. I don't know.
Maybe
There's some
like because they're like taking bets on, if how long he'd last. And they're disappointed that he wasn't tearing him limb from limb, and so maybe they're in a deleted scene on the Blu-ray,
right?
But
yeah,
we don't know. But there's a bit of an Easter egg in here. So when Han and Chewie are like mud wrestling, I guess. I don't want to. Yeah. Wrong connotation, but whatever.
Jello wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah. So they're going at it. Chewie's choking out Han, and he's got him in the mud. It looks a bit suspiciously like another time we've seen Han.
Yeah,
frozen in the carbonite.
And his hands are back. It's like
Yep.
Yep.
So a little tip of the hat there.
Awesome.
Hat is fully tipped.
Hat is tipped. There's gonna be a lot of tip in the hat.
Listeners, I want you to realize that when we say tip of the hat, we are literally tipping our hats.
Yeah.
Just get that visual in your head.
One of these days when we do our, video podcasting, you see how retarded we are. We're just like tipping the hat.
Don't spill the beans.
Yeah. the magic sauce.
Yep.
All right, so we're on Vandor, and Vandor again. That's where the train scene happens.
Is that the thing your parent tells you to not close your fingers on? The Vandor. I'll be here all week.
You know what? I feel like we have to have a new game, Heather. We have to. How many dad jokes does Aaron tell during the podcast?
I'm in a special kind of dad joke mood right now, so strap in.
No, every week is a dad joke week. All right, so this one is another tip of the hat, because our good friend Lando, he says Han all the time, but they mention this right when he sits down. It's and Han's like, no, it's Han, and then Lando does again like Han, so, and that's kind of because. Billy D, he kind of flipped him back and forth, and they didn't stop him. It was like sometimes it was Han or Han, or it was like Han, old buddy, you got to do it. So they get to the part where they're going to bet the ship, and so the Falcon's on the table, and Han says he has a VCX 100 model starship, and Lando's like, ooh, I'll take that. And that is the model of the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels. Tip of the hat.
Tip of the hat.
Tip of the hat.
If only there was a sound effect we could use when you tip your hat, but it's silent.
Yeah. It's kind of silent. It's just like, So when they're at the bar too, when they're kind of negotiating the price for Lando, and Lando and Beckett meet, and he basically says, "You did me a favor by killing Aurora Singh." And now this is like an Easter egg or like this is like a tip of the hat because Aurora Singh is literally in 2 seconds of film in The Phantom Menace. But of course, the Star Wars fans, we love her. She's a bounty hunter that's watching Anakin kind of goes by. She's got a bald head, a little antenna. She is also featured pretty prominently in the Clone Wars series.
Oh, this lady.
For live action.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, Beckett's like, well, I more or less pushed her. So, and Lando's like, you did me a favor. So, tip of the hat to one bounty hunter, and then Val, they're walking, and after they pick up Chewie and Han, and this is right before, I think, the campfire scene. He's like, we could have hired like Bosk, and he mentions these sisters. Now, I thought she said the Tanaka sisters, which are the two twins in the Cantina bar. You know what I'm talking about? When you first walk in, there's like two.
Yeah.
One. Yeah. But there's some other sisters. I don't know who they are. But
does anybody know who they
Twisted
are?
Sister. I don't know.
See, that's
Twisted
the problem
Sister.
with Star Wars scripts is like you could just throw in any kind of oblique reference to a character, and you have no idea if they actually exist or not. But whether they do or not, they'll end up getting a Wikipedia entry. So. And a backstory,
right?
And a fan page, and whatever.
And a fan page, right? 3 million likes. We'll like Bosk, but we can't like Kelly Marie Tran. So there you go.
Got him.
Ooh.
Got him. Clint Howard. We mentioned this. Clint Howard is pretty much in every Ron Howard film, and he's our pit droid wrangler, and L3 basically gives him a claw to the face or whatever. So Clint Howard makes his little cameo there. So the other thing, he mentions that he squares everything away to Lando mentions this to Kira, that I squared everything with Crimson Dawn, which is the organization that obviously Voss and Kira are part of. And he mentions Felicia. Felicia is the brightly colored tropical planet in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. This is where another Twi'lek dies, which, why is her name? Ayla Secura. Yeah. This is where the stormtroopers are riding those big caterpillars. It's very fun. Very fun. And
you're gonna have to explain that one.
Well, they are. They just like they take the indigenous species of the planet, like a dewback from Tatooine, and like, hey, this giant caterpillar
saddle up.
Cool. Just saddle up. All right, this is pretty deep. So, okay. In Rogue One, there's this guy called Tam Pozzola, and you're like, who is this guy? Well, he's this bounty hunter that kind of looks like Boba Fett. He's super dope and super cool. And he's like he's like I don't know why they do this to bounty hunters. This is like 2 seconds of film in Rogue One. Okay. Well, he is watching the card play, and he's like 3 deep, like back from Han, and he's just leaning on a pillar. I'm like, oh, they put it back in. And there he is. He's just hanging out.
So he's in Rogue One and Solo.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
You think he's going to be in the next spinoff?
Tip of the hat. I don't know, man. Maybe, yeah.
Kind of like
he could just keep on
Waldo.
showing up. Yeah. Where's our Tam Pozzola? So yeah, he's pretty dope. I will definitely, that'll be one of the guys I will post on our Instagrams for sure.
Someone on the 501st, please dress up as him.
Oh, dude, he's so cool.
Yeah, he
he's
looks
so cool.
baller.
He's balling. Okay. We saw this in a trailer. And obviously we saw it in the movie. Well, not obviously, because some trailers, they don't show the stuff. When Chewie almost gets his head chopped off, another Indiana Jones reference in The Last Crusade. Indy almost gets decapitated while fighting a Nazi on a tank.
I need to watch the movie again because that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so, Han, Leia, they loved each other, but they were very snarky to each other. And when they first meet, I think Han goes, either I'm beginning to like her or I'm beginning to hate her. I think that's how it goes. And she blows up when they're trying to get her out of the cell block, she blows up the little trash hole, and they go down, and she's like, into the garbage chute, flyboy. And Rio says that to Han. So there you go, little flyboy. Another tip of the hat. Bada bing. Cloud Riders are Effie's Nest. That is from a 1977 Star Wars Legend comic, Star Wars 9 Showdown at Wasteland World. The Cloud Riders and Effie's Nest are in that 1977 comic book.
That's where they come from?
Word.
That is digging deep.
Deep. That's deep. That's deep, man. Another thing, when they're leaving Vandor, and it's short little bounty hunter, because that's Warwick Davis. So Warwick Davis plays 2 characters, and that little fuzzy bear thing that Han kind of pets as he is winning. Yeah. He's right next to him. That's Warwick Davis.
Okay.
And also Warwick Davis is also that, he's kind of has that little bounty hunter, little garb on. And as Effie's Nest, they're watching the Falcon leave. They put a tracking beacon on the old Falcon. And in A New Hope, when they escape the Death Star, Han's like, Leia's like, yeah, they let us escape. They probably put a tracking beacon on, on the, and Han's like, not on this ship, sister. So
He knows.
He knows. Yeah. All right. Voss's room.
Yes.
Like on this little thing. There's like a bazillion things here.
Oh,
you have to there's a lot. So when we first meet Voss, right, he kills a guy. And he's like, I need a drink. And when he gets a drink, I don't know if you notice, but the waitress that he gets a drink from
No head.
doesn't have a head.
Yeah.
No head.
Well,
Really
no,
weird.
Like, top half of the head.
Yeah, no top of the head.
It's really trippy. I love it.
They're also in Rogue One.
Really?
And yeah, they're called the decarnated or something.
Decraniated?
Yeah. Decraniated. Thank you. Yeah. Kind of makes sense because they're like, it's kind of, and it, yeah, there's a whole little side stories, Wikipedia, you want to look it up, but yeah, they're in there. Scarif, name drop, boom. And Kira mentions that in when they're talking about looking for the Quaxium.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned, yeah, you can go to Citadel and Scarif. Oh, we know that place. Oh yeah, we do.
Do you think the Citadel was built at that time that the movie takes place?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's up and operational and everything.
It's operational. Yeah. I feel like that was definitely something that the Empire had already. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Like, this is nerd deep, man. This is great. There's a statue. All right. There's lots of statues, but there's a statue, and it's called the Dancing Goddess. It's a nod to a 1980s Star Wars Marvel comic that has great power and protection to whoever possesses it. Former owners were Jabba the Hutt, Lando Calrissian, and for you, Aaron, Prince Shizor from Shadows Empire.
Yes.
Boom. There you go.
Perfect.
Perfect. Obviously, this was in the trailer too, but there's Mandalorian armor in Voss's room, and it kind of looks old. Could be Old Republic. It could be Death Watch, which is also featured. That's a Mandalorian subset on Clone Wars. So that has the connection with Maul if you go that route. Yeah, so that's another thing. And I think it's kind of interesting, too, that he has that because that's kind of like a sense of power that, like, he either killed the dude or took it from the dude, to have that kind of armor just being displayed. Like, hey, that's mine.
Like a trophy hunter.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like, I like that armor. Yeah. I'm just
I'm
going to
gonna
take
kill
that
you.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So I know this one's pretty obvious. There was a giant crystal skull.
True.
Somehow I missed that.
0 points for you in Voss's room there, Aaron. No. There's a giant crystal skull. It's like right and and I thought, oh, they're just being clever, like Crystal Skull, of another Indiana Jones reference, Crystal Skull. But that's one theory. The other theory, and it's the Brian Daley Han Solo Adventures. Like, this is a Legends novel way back in the 80s. One of the covers has a giant crystal skull that looks like the giant crystal skull in Voss's room.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. This one is pretty hard to find. Like, you would probably have to freeze frame it, but I found this is on the Visual Dictionary, and Voss has a Sith holocron in his room.
He would, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would.
A Sith holocron?
Fine. It's a holocron. Yes. Yes. And those are featured in Rebels a lot too. So that seems legit. And maybe he's saving it for Maul. Maybe he's not. I don't know.
They're really reinforcing this connection to Rebels, aren't they?
Yes. Yes, they are. Maybe you should watch it. I don't know. And finally, underneath the giant crystal skull, he is another Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. The fertility idol is under the crystal skull.
How could I miss that?
How can you? Well, first of all, you already missed the giant crystal skull, so there you go. Yeah. So there you go. I'm sure there's other stuff in Voss's room that we missed, but those were a lot of deep cuts. Okay, Kessel. This is literally a 41-year reference to see this planet, and this is one of the first lines that C-3PO says in A New Hope. He says, "They're heading in this direction. What are we going to do? We'll be sent to the spice mines of Kessel, smashed into who knows what." We finally got to see it.
There it is. The spice mines of Kessel.
Kessel. There it is. There you go. We see as they're going to Kessel, Beckett is showing Chewbacca Dejarik, and that's a little chess game that is so fun. It's like almost like a double Easter egg, because when Finn is on the Falcon in The Force Awakens, it picks up right where it leaves off in A New Hope.
Yep.
And didn't that pick up where it left off in Force Awakens?
Yeah.
It's all connected, man.
It's all connected, man. All connected. Here's a and then also obviously this is a reference because they were playing Dejarik when he says this. Han basically says, "Yeah, well, Wookiees are known to rip, people's arms off." And C-3PO says, "R2, I suggest a new strategy. R2, let the Wookiee win." Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get to see that in Kessel.
Yep.
Arms ripped off. Ugh,
it's awesome.
Fantastic. It's awesome. It's awesome. Here we go. So we know in Galaxy's Edge, the planet is called Batuu. And
God bless you.
Yeah, Batuu. And there's a place on Batuu, or Galaxy's Edge, called Black Spire Station. L3 drops that name when she's talking to Lando. Couldn't get you from here to Black Spire Station is again a reference to Galaxy Edge. So there you go.
Do we know what that's going to be yet? Like in the park?
No, I don't know what that's going to be.
Maybe a gift shop.
I know it is. It's right. Trinkets.
Gift shop or a restaurant.
Yeah.
But hey, Disney restaurants
Can you imagine if it was a
pretty
restaurant and
good.
droids brought you things?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Sorry.
Make it so, yeah. Disney.
Yeah, make it so. Make some droids, please. Obviously this one's pretty obvious. We talked about this too, is that, the Return of the Jedi Lando skiff guard Beckett had. So that was nice. Mm-hmm. That was nice. We also talk about this too. L3 part of the ship is also a nod to C-3PO's line, like the Falcon has a peculiar language. Yeah. So in the EU, one of the other things that that Kessel had was called glitter stim, and this was the spice that was mined, and they were produced by these energy spiders. But yeah, it was in complete darkness, so you had to be very careful. And along the way, they would also eat you. So no big deal.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. So we're not seeing the whole planet. So some people were like super mad, like, oh, they didn't reference that. But we're not seeing the whole planet. Again, we're only seeing a little part of it, and they are connecting the hyperspace fuel and that kind of stuff. So yeah, don't get all bunched up. It's still there's still time. You go back and see some energy spiders. Obviously, when the Kessel Run and they're getting sucked into the big black hole, the radar dish rips off. So that is the third radar dish that the Falcon has.
Man, how many of those did they go through? Is that a cheap replacement, like an air filter, or?
Yeah, right. Kessel Run has the weird radar dish, and then in the Return of the Jedi, obviously Lando knocks it off, and then in Force Awakens, it has a square radar dish. So there you go.
It also gets knocked off.
Yeah. All right. This one's a deep cut, and I didn't even know this because I didn't ever watch the show. Did you guys ever watch Community?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well,
What do you take me for? A cool person?
that has some time to watch all these cool pop culture shows, you know? Well, there's a reference in Community where there's a character called Troy in Community, and he comes back to his apartment, and his apartment's just like, he's a neat freak, and it comes back, and it's like all crazy, and it's pretty much shot just like how Lando walks in and like the Falcon's on fire.
Oh, I've seen this scene Lando's, where he walks in with the pizza and like everything's on fire and people are flailing about.
Yeah, and Lando screams, "No, it's custom." Yeah, so it's it's a deep cut to Community. And then you actually brought this up last week, Aaron, as far as when he's barging into, Han's barging into mine to help free the enslaved miners and stuff like that, and he's trying to push the mining cart. It's very, very similar to Temple of Doom.
Tip of the hat.
Tip of the hat. Obviously, we know this too. I've got a bad feeling about this. Han flips it to I've got a really good feeling about this. So there you go. Anthony Daniels makes an appearance, and
really?
I didn't see him. Yes, he is escaping with all the rest of the peeps out of Kessel. But yeah.
Well, we probably didn't spot him because he's not moving awkwardly like C-3PO.
Right, he's not in gold plating.
Yes.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Okay. Now, Aaron, did you get this? So, Masters of Terrascase is a old it's in the 90s Star Wars game. It's kind of like a Tekken ripoff.
Tekken?
And it's
an odd choice to rip off for a Star Wars game.
It was a bad game, but you get to fight as one of the main characters in there has the title of the video game is called Terrascase, but it's kind of a martial arts thing, and that's what Kira says to when L3's like, "Whoa." He's like, yeah, that was Terrascase.
Oh, this looks
awful. You look, yeah,
I'm looking
really
it up. It looks
played it a lot.
Terrible.
Yeah, I played a lot. It's horrible, but it's awesome. And also in the books, they say Darth Maul also had understood that form, and also they're saying it's mentioned in the Last Jedi Visual Dictionary as Snoke's Praetorian Guards also mastered that art. So there you go.
That's kind of hilarious and awesome at the same time.
I know. So there's a lot of people escaping from the last when I was going to say the Last Jedi when they're escaping the mines of Kessel. And do you remember in The Force Awakens when Finn and Han and Rey are walking up to Maz's castle, there was that really cool like stilt robot?
See, like he's like red and he's got like the big hands. It's kind of gangly.
He's like walking real slow, and then the camera pans up and you see all the flags.
Yes.
Well, he's called HURID 327, and he's in there. He's coming out of the Kessel mines. There's at least a droid of that same type coming out of that. Moroff. All right, so you're like, who's Moroff? Rogue One. He's a white guy. Like, he kind of looks like a Wampa and kind of like a Chewbacca. He's a white guy, and you see him in Rogue One. He's part of Saw Gerrera's crew, and he helps when they blow up the tank, he helps grab some of the kyber crystals. His species, Gigaron, is being seen walking out of the Spice Man's castle. I don't know what this robot's called. I'm calling him Dancing Robot. He's in He's also in Rogue One when they're in Jeddah, and he's kind of doing the dancing robot thing. Yeah, he's also featured. There's another. I feel like they just grabbed everything from Rogue One. They're just like, hey, you're going to be in Kessel.
Is he not in the visual dictionary?
Dude, I would have to look. I would have to see. Yes, he is.
Whoa, what's his name?
Cone. Kaohn. Yeah, dancing robot. Page 76.
Whoa, there you go. Everything's got a name.
There you go. All right. This is something I promised. This is a true Easter egg. Okay. Here we go.
Ready?
All right, you ready? When Han Solo needs to pull a ridiculous stunt during the Kessel Run, he falls back on a move the fans of Back to the Future might recognize. He even credits it's an old street racing friend named Needles back home on Corellia. That's a reference to Flea's character in the Back to the Future films, a determined street racer who continues to challenge Marty McFly.
Oh yeah, because isn't this the move they said Needles died performing?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know Back to the Future would show up like that.
There you go. Obviously, we saw this in the trailer, and we talked about it last week too. Is like Beckett mentions there's a big shot gangster, and you think it's Voss, but in the movie, this is the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Jabba.
Yep.
You know, so that's the one on the old thing.
Yep.
Obviously, Maul. It's like. That's a deep cut to the Clone Wars and Rebel series. Yeah. So that's obviously a pretty. But here's the second part. They didn't use Peter. Help me out here, Aaron. Peter
Serafinowicz.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, he was the voice of Ray Park, Darth Maul in 1999, but they went with Sam Witwer, and Sam Witwer did the voice in Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and so he's the one that voiced Maul in Han Solo.
Yeah, kind of unexpected to see him there, but pretty cool that they kept the continuity with the animated series voice instead of Mr. Serafinowicz.
Thank you. Yes. And also Sam Witwer, this is extra bonus. He was the character model, or what they use for Force Unleashed 1 and 2. He was the apprentice for Darth Vader. Just throwing it out there.
Well done.
The two-finger salute from Lando.
Isn't that a Boy Scout salute thing?
I guess. I don't know. He does it. He does it in Return of the Jedi to Han, and we see this also.
He's too cool to give a full salute.
Yes. I mentioned this last week because I literally yelled it out. Two tubes.
Two tubes.
Two tubes. He is one of Effie's nests. When they all have their mask on, they take off their mask, and there you go, Effie's nest. Yeah, him and his brother were I've seen in Rogue One, but that is two tubes. We mentioned this also last week too. Weasel, who's Warwick Davis, he's seen in Phantom Menace and Watto's betting box or skybox or whatever it is. Yeah, he was an arms dealer, but now he's on the good side. Okay, this one pretty obvious. I really wanted to yell this, but I didn't. I should have. But Han shot first. So this is
someone shouted that at my movie viewing.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Someone was just like, he shot first. It was pretty satisfying.
Yeah. So if you've been sleeping on a rock for 41 years, this is like, this one hurts. This one's
this is like the first thing you learn in Star Wars world.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is like,
so
I'm a Star Wars fan, basic starter pack.
Exactly.
Right. So let's just break it down right here. Okay, so in the original version, the 1977 version of Star Wars: A New Hope, well, back then it was just called Star Wars. We'll just put it that way. Greedo, a slime bucket of a bounty hunter, not really a good one, stops Solo. They go back to the table. They sit down. You know, Greedo's got a gun on him. Bada bing, bada boom. Han ices him. And he flips a coin to the bartender.
Through the table, shoots him.
Shoots him, right. Well, you know, Georgie, getting bored, decides like he wants to possibly make new movies. So he decides to figure out like, hey, I want to do some testing on digital stuff. So he kind of goes back to the wheelhouse and he updates all three. And these were called the special editions. And one of the cool scenes we get is more dewbacks and sand troopers looking for droids. And we get to see a lot of cool movement there. Mm-hmm. But then, okay, that's great. Fantastic. We go in the cantina. Greedo shoots. Han does like this ninja head move. Like, boom. Little dab, you know.
Oh, it looks so awful.
And, it's so awful. And then the 1977 Han shoots him and Greedo falls down, you know.
Man, is that how they're going to make movies in the future? Just I
don't know.
Continually digitally alter and update them so everything offensive is removed.
I hope
well, they did that with E.T. Spielberg did it. Did you know that?
Yeah, they replaced the guns that the FBI agents had with walkie-talkies.
And I'm going to get you with my walkie-talkie.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Dude. Yeah, it is dumb.
D-U-M dumb.
I mean, yeah, it seems kind of weird that, you know, a police officer would put a 12 gauge on a little boy. I get it, but he had an alien in his bike, all right?
Yeah.
They didn't have lasers back then, you know. At least it wasn't like a submachine gun. I don't know. But you ain't going to do anything with a walkie-talkie. It's like, I'm going to throw this at you. You crazy kids. Another play on words, as I got a good feeling about this. Lando and Han have that moment when they're both looking at the Falcon, and yeah, you know, this is a play in Empire Strikes Back where, you know, Princess Leia is like, I love you, and Han's like, I know, and then Lando basically says, I hate you, and Han replies, I know.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Okay, so the Shadow Collective, we get to see this in Ahsoka novel, which I'm currently listening to Audible, you know, audibletrial.com/WSTR. Yeah. So they talk about the Shadow Collective and the Siege of Mandalore. And this is one of the things that kind of it ties into the Crimson Dawn, which is another crime syndicate that Voss is part of. And there was a big riff with the Black Sun, which is also a little tip of the hat to the Legends canon, which is also Aaron's favorite game from the Nintendo 64.
Shadows of the Empire.
Yes. This is also mentioned in Chuck Wendig's Aftermath trilogy, as well as the Clone Wars. So yeah, there's a lot. Shadow Collective, Crimson Dawn, Black Sun, just basically...
They sound like pirate ship names.
Yeah, they do. They do. It's like all this stuff. Okay. So there was an old Han Solo trilogy back in the day, and there was also a Lando Calrissian series in the 80s. And every single book is mentioned by name. So the first Lando Calrissian in the Flame Wind of Osin is name-checked at the Sabacc table when Lando boasts about winning a subtropical moon in the Osean system. Next, Lando Calrissian and the Mine Harp of Sharu comes when Lando is dictating his memoirs aboard the Falcon, which is the thing. We didn't mention that last week.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that last week.
It just
that was so good.
Doing his own captain's log. Self-aggrandizing. It's pretty funny.
I thought that was great. I mean, that's just like so Lando. Like, there's never time for this, you know. That was great. So he's dictating his memoir, so there's a name drop. And okay, the Mufi Ra as L3 in the story, this last one comes in the final Sarlacc game. He mentions Star Cave Nebula, a clear reference to Lando Calrissian and the Star Cave of Thombaka. So there you go. Lots of reference there.
Well, here I am learning that Lando has a book trilogy.
Yeah, it came out in the 80s, bro.
Got to catch up.
Okay, got to catch up. Got to read those books. Okay, here's one. Koloa clawfish. And you're like, what is that? Okay. When they come back, they, meaning Kira, Beckett, Han, Chewie, they all come back to Voss's office. Well, actually, it's Chewie. Beckett didn't show up yet. Chewie, Han, Kira, and he offers them, would you like some Koloa clawfish? Okay. This is the when the power goes out on the little Gungan ship,
the
submarine
Bongo
ship, and the Bungo, thank you, and Obi-Wan puts on the power, and there's that big like tentacle claw thing.
Yeah, that
is a Koloa clawfish.
Oh.
And that's the one that gets eaten by the bigger fish. And, you know, Qui-Gon wisely says there's always a bigger fish.
Okay, so this is the Kolo clawfish. It's got like the alligator snout and the mandibles and like the body of an eel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Little octopus in there, just the, you know.
And it lays eggs, and apparently that's a delicacy.
It lays eggs. A delicacy that Voss has, you know, from Naboo. He's just whining and dining, you know. He's like, I got some, you want some Koloa clawfish? It's kind of like, I guess, the caviar of Star Wars. We're wrapping up here. Okay, here we
Almost
go.
There.
Almost there. Okay, so Beckett wants the running joke is Beckett wants to play like what does he call it? Like I don't know, some kind of instrument. Help me out here. Like a recorder, some kind of recorder. Something.
Like a flute?
Like a flute? A piccolo?
Like a flute? I don't know. He names it. Anyways, He's like, I want to retire and go to Glee Alasum. You're like, well, okay, that's fine, whatever. That is Kit Fisto's home planet. Kit Fisto is the one that looks like he has dreads and he's got the black eyes, kind of fishy looking, in Attack of the Clones. And he smiles at the guy when he... Well, actually, he smiles at C-3PO with his head mounted on a battle droid. That was Kit Fisto with his force push.
They force pushes him away. Yeah.
Yeah. That's his home
planet. He knows he's not
bada
really
bing,
an enemy.
Bada boom. Yeah, exactly. He smiles like, I know you. You're good people. You're good people. Okay. Finally, the plot is literally like the Last Crusade of Indiana Jones. So here we go. You ready for this? Okay. So, so, you know, we see the hero gets, you know, his items, and he gets his hat and the whip and his scar. Han gets his blaster and his ship. The older man, Dovian, and then Beckett, who tells the hero not to trust anyone. While we're initially led to believe the romantic interest is Kira, Elsa from Last Crusade is the one who can't be trusted, and she can't. The person who turns out to be the most dangerous was the guy who told him not to trust anyone in the first place, and then he dies. Beckett. So there you go. Beckett and Danvia.
Woven like a quilt.
So there you go.
It all comes together.
Castian's like, you know, there's this movie called Indiana Jones that was really good. I'm going to do the little ship thing when they turn on their wheels, just like Indy does that with the sidecar with his father. It's going to be great.
I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's a valid point.
Right. And we, as moviegoers, just eat it all up. And then we're like, wait a minute. This sounds familiar. So there you have it. There's a lot of tips of hats, couple Easter eggs, but mostly it's tip of the hat. So there you go. So we made it. Whew. There you go.
That was a marathon. Which, okay, side point that has nothing to do with anything we've talked about. Why do we call it marathoning things anymore? Like when you watch a bunch of a TV show or something, like why is our language so gross now? Where it's like binge watching. It's like, stop. Just call it a marathon. Doesn't have to be so gross.
Because that's laziness, and that's what I'm saying, binge watching.
As opposed to marathon, which
like I'm not gonna run while I watch
I guess
TV.
that does imply like an active pursuit of something.
Yeah,
like the end of the series. I don't know.
Still, it's like I'm gonna name this activity after an eating disorder. Okay.
Oh man,
I don't know. There's just I just feel like there's better ways of referring to things.
This is true. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how I can answer that, man. You got me stumped.
Well, after this podcast is done, I'm going to go on a Netflix marathon.
Yeah, I saw a really cool bumper sticker, and it was like, you know how they have the, was it 26.1 or 26.2?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. Thank you. And it was one of those stickers, you know, the white with the black circle around it, you know.
Yep.
But in really fine print on the sticker, it said 26.2 hours of nonstop watching Netflix.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, okay, I like
That's
that.
pretty good.
That's well played. That's well played. All right, so there you have it. Easter eggs, tips of the hats, crazy references from really old material. They're all right there in Solo.
Not
So
just
hopefully
a
you got
regular
woke.
movie.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right, let's move on to Katina Chat. All right, Aaron, did you roll some dice and get nerdy or what?
Unfortunately not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see, I had to work on Saturday, and then Sunday I was doing a bunch of busy work that I couldn't do the rest of the week because I was working, and it didn't work out that I could play with Josh, but we were planning to hit it this week, and get our Star Wars dice rolling destiny on.
Wow. Okay. We'll let you pass. We'll let you pass, you know. Heather.
Yes, sir.
What about you?
Sadly, nothing terribly specific. My week/weekend consisted of cleaning out Bruce's house so that we can get it listed on the market. So I have taken on this personal mission, if you guys will, to keep the Star Wars fandom alive in the All Red household. So I'm going to champion for Bruce and keep that going. And so I have acquired, let's put it that way, quite a bit of stuff. I've got quite a bit of novels now. I have a Millennium Falcon 3D puzzle, so we'll see how that goes.
Wow, fun.
I have the William Shakespeare Star Wars books.
Oh, yeah.
So these will be for some fun reading, I am sure.
Yeah.
So the best part about them, though, is that basically R2 still just beeps.
That's amazing.
Like they can't quite Shakespearean it up.
Yeah.
So, so yes. So my breadth of Star Wars knowledge has grown. So now I just have to find the time to actually like get into it.
Absorb it. Yeah.
Get it into the brain.
Absorb it. Yeah, that's awesome. So. That's great. Yes. Bruce will live on in the Force. That's fantastic.
Yes. Todd.
Well, the other thing you did, others, you did go deep. We were debating.
Oh gosh.
There was a flurry of instant, some Facebook messaging, like going back and forth. Okay, what are you gonna do? I'm like, you got to go 5 day. Like, I don't know if I want to go all 5 days. I'm just like, go 5 day, and we went 5 day.
I did. I went go big or go home. So
yeah,
it'll be good.
Tip of the hat to you. That's impressive.
Like, we're tipping. Yeah. So I did the same. I was like, gonna take my lunch hour and make this happen, So, and like we said earlier in the podcast, I was like, I get on there and VIP is already sold out. And I'm like, it just started. How is it possible? Doesn't make any sense. So, yeah. That I didn't do too much this week. Same thing. I got the celebration tickets, and like I said, I just started the Ahsoka novel. So that's my geekiness of the week for sure.
Excellent. Oh,
Heather, you want to wrap us up?
Yes, I totally just thought of something though.
What?
So now I'm going to add it in since I'm closing out. I can do that. So
you can totally do that.
Right ahead.
Totally made a very last minute decision of my life, and I bought a plane ticket to California. And so I'm going to go see my best friend, and it happens to be on her birthday. So we're going to go play in Disneyland.
Oh.
So I'm going to try and be all spying and see what I can uncover for us.
On the Black Spire.
Basically.
Yeah. Awesome. When are you going to do that?
June. Well, I fly out the 28th. So whatever that Saturday is.
Oh, this is okay. See, you didn't even tell us. You're like, I can't do July 2nd. Now we know why.
No questions asked.
You know what? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron, we're just like Audible. We don't ask questions. But see, now we just didn't ask questions. We're like, okay. But now you literally let the cat out of the bag.
I did.
Yeah.
You're going to be...
Well, enjoy Star Tours.
You're going to be in Disney.
I'm just doing research for the podcast, guy.
I don't think we're going to let you write this off as a business expense.
Oh, bummer.
No.
All right.
No.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, okay, I have a question for you, Heather.
Okay.
Now that you have a deadline, are you going to make that deadline for your Jawa?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So, now that I have a deadline, which would be Star Wars Celebration, the Jawa is going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks to the lovely people that I met at Joliet Star Wars Day, I got a little bit more in-depth understanding of Jawa costume making.
Oh, man.
So I'm a lot less intimidated by it. Basically, it just comes down to when the best financial spot will be to actually invest in the materials needed to make it. Yeah. But it's not nearly as expensive as I thought it was going to be from the fact that I'll be doing most of the manufacturing myself. So I'm not actually paying someone to do it. So now that I have an actual target in sight, I'm pretty jazzed to make that happen.
I have to throw this out. I don't even know this guy, but I'm going to throw it out anyways. You got to look up on Instagram, Jawazilla or something like that.
Jawazilla.
He's 6'10". And he's a Jawa.
Stop it.
It's frighteningly awesome. And he's going to be at Celebration. So I was like, that's amazing. See, I just stumbled upon it. And I was just like, what is this? And
you two need a picture together.
He's a ginormous Jawa. Yeah. So I think it's our mission to find him.
Yes.
And take a picture with you.
Heck yeah.
And him.
I mean, I think the thing that we have to, that's a perfect example of just how to round this whole thing up from where we started with like news is, listen, if you're a Star Wars fan, be a Star Wars fan in whatever way you want to be. So if you want to be a 6-foot Jawa or a 3-foot stormtrooper, you do you.
Right.
And
you do you. Yeah, you do you.
Be a fan.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Yes.
That's right. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I love, like cosplay. Like, I don't care if you took some paper plates and you made a stormtrooper costume. That to me is as awesome as like a fully movie accurate, Centurion graded, stormtrooper costume. I'm just like, just do you. It doesn't matter. And I think that's where some of the creativity comes is like, hey, I'm on a shoestring budget of $5. What can I do? And there you go.
Yeah, that's how Max's costume happened. Remember last year at C2E2? My buddy Max, he dressed up as a rebel.
That's right.
And he didn't even have a proper helmet. He made it out of like an existing helmet and some foam kind of glued on there. And he didn't even have like a weapon. But we ended up improvising the day of. Got him some handcuffs and made a sign out of cardboard to hang around his neck called and wrote "Rebel Scum" on it. And he was our prisoner for the day, and everybody loved it.
He was our prisoner for today.
Perfect.
Yeah, everybody loved it. Everybody wanted a picture with him, and it's like
that's right.
You just gotta be you, be creative, and the rest will follow.
That's right. Exactly.
Wow.
Heather, you want to wrap us up for the second time?
Let's do it. I know. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going.
Wait. Do we have another subject that we could talk about?
Oh man!
Here on the Wrap Show, we're already in the after show. We haven't even closed the show. Okay.
Trump's meeting with Kim Jong-un, like right now.
It's true.
Okay.
Well, of all the
things... This podcast won't air on Wednesday.
All the things that you could be doing right now, we want to thank you for listening to another episode of Two Guys and a Girl Crazy Conversation, known as WSTR, Galactic Public Access. Check us out.
We're here. We're like we're like galactic and we're access to the public. That's how, it's like all there. It's free.
It's free. Oh, you guys, this is the best. So if you want to keep knowing what we're doing, check us out on the social media, WSTR Media, all lowercase, all one word. Please, we want to hear from you. Tell us how crazy we are by commenting, tweeting, and rating us on iTunes. Email us at mailbox@wstrmedia.com. You can also leave us a voicemail at 630-557-WSTR. 630-557-9787, and we will potentially play a voicemail in an upcoming podcast. Check out our complete catalog of episodes at www.wstrmedia.com, and that's all the ways to get a hold of us. Next week, we're probably going to talk about Star Wars, so fingers crossed.
Yeah,
great.
Probably.
If the planets align.
If the planets align.
Right, exactly.
Craziness. Exactly. But yeah, so gentlemen, now
this
is podcasting.
Podcasting.
Hang in there, Aaron. You got this.
You did it.
I think it's time for bed.